Konnichiwa, Nihon Cricket Pod de Yokoso. Welcome to the Japan Cricket Podcast. I'm joined today by two of the women's national squad members who are here over from Australia, ready for the Women's Japan Premier League. We have Elena Kasuda-Nairn and Ahilia Chandel. Welcome, ladies.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Nothing to be nervous about, I promise. Okay, so we're going to get straight into it. The Women's Premier League is starting this weekend. I'll start with you, Ahilia. How are you feeling about it? You excited?
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this because we have some new overseas players. It's a great opportunity for the Japan girls as well to learn about the level and standards from an overseas perspective. I'm just keen to get along with everyone and play this tournament.
And captaining as well.
Yeah, captaining first time for Japan. I'm a bit nervous, but I do have some experienced captains in my team that I can rely on.
Lean on for help, absolutely. Elena, what do you make of the concept as a whole for this tournament?
I think it's a really great opportunity for Japan cricket to have more exposure, especially on the women's side of it, as well as letting the girls, have a bit more of that competition as well, to learn, to develop, more game experience as a whole.
And do you think it's going to be something that can bring a bit of a competitive edge, having the whole East v West thing?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely going to be some inside competition.
Has there been a bit of chat around that in the groups?
I think it's already started, to be honest.
Good. Excellent. So how's the week been? I mean, you guys obviously have flown in from Australia, but last weekend was a very hot couple of days of training. How was that?
It was really hot. So, I definitely got tired, but, when we were training with especially our squad, I was really happy that we got along fairly quickly and we were understanding each other, okay, this person can do this and this is how they are, this is kind of their game in nature, and if, someone was struggling with something, we kind of helped each other out. So I think that's really good already from it.
There was no drop in joy or anything like that. Even though it was hot, it was 36 degrees or something, the girls had just flown in as well. It wasn't a quiet moment. It was always, everyone's keeping each other going, motivation. We got to learn a lot from each other as well, so that was really good.
Yeah, I guess for you guys coming in from overseas and being from sort of outside the Japan cricket community up until the last, 18 months or so, you're quite used to having to assimilate to this new group of people. So were you able to sort of give some advice to the new players, particularly for them with the language barrier as well? Was that something you guys feel like you've become experts in? Yeah,
it's definitely something that we've tried. Obviously, it is quite hard to try and translate all the time. But the good thing about the squad members, especially with the girls, is that they actually started to speak to them in English as well and trying their best to try and communicate and make them feel welcome as well, which was great to see.
Any of the players from overseas who have impressed you?
Yeah. They've all got their own little quirks and specialities, but definitely Amo.
Yeah.
Amo?
Yeah,
okay.
Having a chat with her, I was trying to understand her game, is she a batter, bowler, what does she do? And she was I bat and keep, and I was alright. And then we went to the net session. She was bowling amazingly. I was you can bowl.
Okay. So she's 19, she's come over from South Africa as part of the Titans setup over there. So that'll be one to watch over the weekend then.
Definitely.
And of course you've got the Hong Kong players. Of course, it was only a month ago that you were playing against Lemon and Carrie Chan, and now Carrie's on your team, right? Yes. So how's that been? Is that when you see her, she's particularly for Hong Kong in the most recent event, she was sort of their main batter that we were very much targeting, particularly for you two as bowlers. How was it now she's in your team? We've got to be nice to you now.
There's definitely friendly fire, but when we're all in a team, we all just motivate each other. She was helping some of our girls with batting, as well as helping some of our spinners with, tips and tricks as well. So it's kind of integrated quite well with the team.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Well, the games will start tomorrow from 10 a.m. on the Japan Cricket Association YouTube channel on the live stream. So hopefully everyone will enjoy tuning into that. And it should be a good 3-match series. I just want to talk a little bit now about your early lives and your sort of journey to where we are today. I guess we'll start with you, Ahilia, because you're quite an eclectic background. So why don't you tell us a little bit about sort of your early life and your family background?
Yeah, so I'm basically born and brought up in Sydney, Australia, with a Japanese mother who's from Hiroshima and an Indian father who's from Himachal, Delhi side. So I guess growing up in that environment, two different cultures, very different, but I love that I'm half of both because it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and being brought up in that westernized society, I've enjoyed.
Quite a unique perspective on things.
Yeah, I'm like I have the Japanese mindset, but then the Indian mindset, but then the westernized mindset, so I have to flip through sometimes.
Yeah, right. And Elena, born and raised in Queensland?
Yes, homegrown Aussie. Definitely, brought up on the Queensland side and the Goldie, but also lived in Japan for 2 years. And so kindy and all that was all in Japan. Then switching over that language barrier, I don't think I spoke proper English until much later. Definitely didn't know how to write or read properly for a very long time, but yeah, definitely the two different sides was an experience. You definitely had your two very different cultures, but very lucky to have both and be able to come and go as I please, really.
Yeah, and you've managed to hold on to that language pretty well, right?
Yeah, I have. It helps having my grandparents and my auntie over in Japan, so we just keep in contact with them, and luckily mum as well, she speaks sometimes Japanese to us, so we still have that in the family.
Yeah, cool. So what were your first experiences with cricket? I mean, I guess, you know, both growing up in Australia, it's very much part of the fabric there, but sort of how old were you when you first started playing?
6, 7?
Yeah, I think I was roughly
About
around
that sort of age?
6.
Yeah, okay.
Like that, yeah.
And what were your first impressions of the sport? Did you ever think it would sort of take you where it has done so far?
No, I didn't like cricket. No, I did not like it at all. I was like, no, what is this sport? But now that I've continued, I'm like, okay, no, I like this sport.
It's a very unique sport where, from outsiders, it may seem like it's quite boring, and sometimes, look, it can be. But when you're on the field, surrounded by your teammates, with spectators watching as well, it brings up the atmosphere, and it's quite a lot of fun. But when I started, I was always surrounded, like I have a little brother, like surrounded by sport in itself. Dad grew up playing it, Granddad did, his brothers did. It just kind of was like just pushed onto me. And then we start playing in the boys' team, in the girls' team. It was quite a very different dynamic, but it was a lot of fun in the end.
Yeah, right. And you said you got this early memories of doing kindergarten in Japan. How about yourself, Hillia, with your early memories of Japan? Like, when did you first start coming over here?
So when I was kind of like a newborn, I do know I went to both India and Japan, and then I do remember I came back when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old in Hiroshima with my cousins, and then I'd come back after about 7 years last year.
So last yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Was that your first visit back?
In a while, because there was a period before high school I came back.
Yeah, right. And Elena, for you, I remember, I can't remember what year it was. I'm going to say 2018 maybe?
Yeah,
when you and your brother came up here to Sarno and in like December, so there wasn't any cricket going on. But yeah, I mean, a lot's moved on in those 5 years. I mean, you know, you talked about your first experiences in cricket. That was your first experience, I guess, with Japan cricket. And did that come through your dad?
Yeah, so I think Mum and Dad found it for my brother, and then I was just tagging along, and then it kind of got put in like, you know, Elle plays as well, and out you go. And that was kind of the start of it, so yeah.
Accelerated pretty quickly from there. And Hillia, I do remember some fairly entertaining conversations with you and your family members on bad telephone lines and not really knowing what was going on. And then you dropped off the radar for about 18 months and suddenly got back in touch again. But how did you actually find out about Japan cricket, and when did you start thinking about this might be something for you to get involved with?
So Dad found out that Japan plays cricket, and he's like, oh, like, why don't you give it a shot? And I was like, all right, like, I'm fine. So then we, you know, tried to contact and lost that period of time because my account got like deleted. But then came here, and then I was like, oh, like, this is really fun. Like, playing in Australia, it's very competitive. the environment for me at that period of time wasn't. I was not enjoying cricket. I absolutely was like maybe no. Then came here and I was like, oh, actually, you know what? Like I want to continue and probably maybe pursue playing in Japan instead because I like the environment here and I don't have to kind of shut off my skills and ability and be afraid because you know like Australia, like I kind of was like, oh, I'm not good at this. Like you know, people are telling me this and that, but here I can be quite open and expressive.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going to be the next question I asked, was around sort of the differences between cricket in Australia and cricket here. And obviously here it's a much smaller community, everyone kind of knows each other, everyone is a bit more, I guess, friendly and wanting to learn from each other, particularly from you guys who have grown up playing from a much younger age. A lot of our players, not all of them, but a lot of them only started playing at like 18, and so they're very keen to learn more. So you guys naturally have got more experience in the game, so they look up to you straight away. Do you feel that like as an added pressure, or do you feel that as a responsibility you enjoy?
I enjoy it because, like, what's the point of having a skill and not being able to teach it?
Absolutely.
So, like, especially when the girls are having trouble bowling and stuff, I'll just like look at their action and be like, look, if you try it, why don't you try this? And then they'll give it a go. Like, of course, it's not going to work the first time, but if they keep going and keep doing it, like from last year when I came to here, the bowling has improved. Like some of the girls have really excelled and improved as well. Plus we've got these new little tackers that are coming through as well. And it's definitely something that I enjoy watching, seeing the improvement as well. So it's definitely a responsibility I do enjoy.
Yeah, cool. And, you know, when you first arrived, what was your first impression of Japan cricket? I mean, I guess you were both sort of, I mean, you're slightly different, but you were thrown basically straight into national team training pretty much.
Yeah.
You had obviously been here and at least seen the facility a few years before, but, you know, were you surprised at what you found here when you first got here?
Very.
I was surprised, but I kind of expected it because I knew like Japan was only, you know, starting off the cricketing journey, you know, they're just starting to develop. Coming from Australia, I was like, I'm not gonna put this like the like Australian level because I knew that they're just only starting. This is the only start, but I felt like, oh, like, you know, if I come and continue, maybe I can help everyone get to that level of competing professionally. Like, and I'd really love to see Japan be one of those top teams one day.
Yeah, we'll get on to the national team stuff in a moment, but I mean, you can see in women's cricket particularly, obviously there's England, Australia, India are so far ahead of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And then the next group of countries, even Thailand, are kind of getting into that group now.
Yeah.
And that just shows how, I don't know how much you know about the Thai background, but we were playing against a lot of those players 10 years ago and beating them. But they kept a group of players together for a really long time.
Yeah.
And whilst they were doing that, those good players have got better and better and better, and they're now into their 30s and producing at a level which is akin to what the full members are doing, and they've been able to supplement players coming through so that now they've actually got competition for places and have a side that's really competitive.
I think because when I was like in the pathways, I think it was Thailand. They had like came to Australia to train, and we kind of got to see their like training, and I was like, okay, they're pretty good. They're gonna like come and, you know, rise up because, you know, some of them were bowling and kind of training against like some pathway girls or contracted players at that time. So I was like, okay, they're a team to watch out for.
Yeah, and that's such a key part of what the JCA are trying to do is keep the group of players together and keep improving and keep providing more opportunities. And, you know, women's cricket is and has been for a number of years on this sort of upward trajectory, which must be quite exciting for you being part of that. And of course, you've seen a couple of Japanese players get contracts at Fairbreak. You know, are these ambitions that you guys have as well? That'd be cool, right? Yeah. So hopefully there's more and more of these kind of franchise competitions. They're talking about a lot of them, and, you know, I guess the best way to show that is by performing for Japan. So, you know, Ahilya, you are cap number 63, Elena cap number 70 for the Japan women's team. We're big on trying to, you know, make the point of the history that Japan has in women's cricket. So a lot of people have gone before you, but do you feel that the team now is at a place where it's got this potential to start performing? Got a win at the East Asia Cup last month. Going to have another tournament coming up in Vanuatu in just a couple of months. We'll go back to the debut first. You made your debut in Japan last year. How was that?
It was exciting, and I was a bit nervous. I was like, oh my god, like, you know, I'm debuting, I gotta do well, I gotta perform well, and plus, like, my mum and dad came, and then my auntie and my grandma also came to watch, and they had no clue about cricket, but they came because I was there. So I was like, oh, I want to like make them proud because my grandma's there watching. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, right. And Elena, for yourself, you made your debut over in China at the East Asia Cup at the same ground that's going to be hosting the Asian Games in a few months' time. It was a pretty surreal experience.
Definitely, the whole place, it looked like something, honestly, from TV. Like you grow up watching it on TV and all of a sudden you're at the actual place. And obviously it's like a new province and everything like that, but it was very nerve-wracking. There was multiple times we had to do some nervous bathroom runs and everything, but definitely helped with the performance. So I'm happy with how I did, how the team did as well. And I think for a new group of girls for that tournament, we did surprisingly quite well.
Yeah, and it was nice to see, from our point of view, there was only, I guess, maybe 3 or 4 changes from the tournament in Kaisuka the year before. And with the sort of squad that we have now, you know, I've got a spreadsheet here which shows me all the cap numbers and all the players, and every tournament we have there's like 5-6 people making their debut. And it's been that way for 10 years really, and that's because there's this huge turnover of players, and really want to see that kind of thin out and us go through the next 3, 4, 5 tournaments. Sure, you want players still coming in, but you don't want half the team changing every time. And it kind of feels at the moment that it is a pretty young group, and that can be great in terms of potential and a high ceiling, but also that age group in Japan, particularly between sort of 18 and 24, where players do tend to fall out of the game, particularly after they graduate. Elena, you've graduated, you've got 1 more year earlier?
Yeah, 1 more year.
So yeah, you're in that sort of time of trying to balance cricket and work, and I know the Japanese culture is very, very sort of work orientated. So for us, it's really trying to help the girls understand that it is possible to do both, and that actually playing sport can help you in your working environment, because if you're all work, 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 well, it's not a lot of fun, is it? I'm curious about your family. You mentioned your family coming to watch down in Kaisuka. Like, what do the Japanese part of your family make of this whole cricketing thing and it bringing you back to Japan? Are they really excited about it? Are they starting to learn about cricket? Are they, you know, what do they make of it?
So I know Mom was telling me like, oh, you know, like they don't know anything. I said like, that's fine as long as they come. And then I know Mum was like, she was sitting with all her sister and like Mum and explaining as to get go. And I was surprised because my mum also is not that great in cricket. So, and they were like, oh wow, like, you know, that person earlier did really well. Like, whoa, this is how the game goes. And I was like, yeah, like it goes like this. This is cricket. No, they sometimes do ask, hey, like, what's going on with your cricket? Is it going well? I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, so.
Well, there were a couple of exciting games down there in Kaisuka. The third game in particular was fantastic. So a good game to watch and learn about the sport.
I had my notepad out ready with the computer.
Then Elena, I know that you've been pretty active. You got here about a month ago anyway on this trip, right?
3 weeks,
yeah, so you know you've been travelling around doing stuff with the family.
Yes.
What do they make of the cricketing side of things?
They're very supportive. Again, they're not quite sure how it all works, but I do have that support from them. They always ask, you know, what's this? What are you doing now? How's training? I get phone calls as well from my grandparents saying, oh, like, are you done? What? How was it? And I was like, it's good. It's hot.
It's cool.
But yeah, so it's a very supportive family in the sense of that from both sides, the Australian and the Japanese side. but definitely they're learning a lot more as well.
Mm.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess the last thing that I wanted to really talk about was sort of the legacy that being involved in Japan cricket is having on your lives. And I know you're still young, but you know, your involvement in Japan cricket, the JCA's mission is to enrich lives through the game of cricket. And from seeing you guys, particularly over the last sort of 9 months or so, I know you guys have spent a bit of time together away from Japan and away from cricket. So it feels like, you know, it's a new friendship that's come about through the sport here, which is great. Like, that's really, you know, that's something that we're really proud of. Do you feel that being involved is having a positive impact and can continue to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I met Helio, last year, first time, and then didn't even realise, you know, there's other hobbies around the world, but it was quite nice seeing someone connecting with someone that is in kind of the same position that I was, and then being able to also get along with all the other girls. You just create friendships that honestly will last a lifetime. Like, it doesn't matter about ages, what your background is or anything. It's just the community itself is quite a nice, positive environment, and I really hope that can stay like that and develop as well as like a whole team.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, playing cricket in Australia, I also didn't know there was half Japanese out there playing. I honestly thought it was me. I was like, wow, like I'm the only half Japanese playing cricket. I was like, and it did cross my mind, like when I was younger, does Japan even have a cricket team? Mm-hmm. But then, you know, coming here and meeting everyone, like, I've really enjoyed my time, and when I always go back, I always talk about Japan and the girls, and even like working on my leadership skills in, you know, Australia, to be able to come back here and then implement those type of things that I've learned, so trying to bring bits and pieces. So yeah, I just hope to continue playing for Japan and see everyone do well.
And do you feel that you're connecting more with Japan and sort of the Japanese part of yourself as well through these visits? It's giving you, I mean, it sounds like you kind of came a lot anyway, but less so for you. Do you feel that having this reason is just, it sounds a bit crass, but like make you feel more Japanese, that because you're spending more time here, you've got a reason to now?
No, that's a big question. I like coming here because of, like, since joining, I've had more opportunities to come here, you know, be in the culture of, you know, Japan. I don't really get that often. The only type is my mom. So it's really nice to come back, because then if I come back, I always felt at home. But now, you know, that I'm frequently coming, seeing the girls, my Japanese is improving, and I'm able to feel comfortable rather than always anxious and nervous coming to a foreign, foreign country. So
yeah, and particularly like on a event like this, we've had the training last week and the matches this week, and you've got 5 full days in between where you can actually just go and travel and explore. We've seen the same with the boys, you know, who all came into the squad, the men's squad and the under-19 squad about a year and a half ago. Ryan's here now, Lachlan, Declan, Rayo, slightly different, but him as well. You know, these guys, they all, like Rayo was a bit like you. He's grown up saying that he'd never knew any other half Japanese kids in New Zealand, and then he met 5 in one day coming over here, and he's just sort of was a bit blown away by that, and just finding those people who have that similarity of cultural background, and not only that, but also so much in common through the game of cricket. And you know, from a, again, organisational point of view, goes back to that sort of enriching lives thing. Most of my job satisfaction actually comes from watching players connect and find more from the game of cricket than just enjoyment out there playing. It's giving you more off the field, as well as helping you develop as people and enjoy and hopefully win games on the field. So, you know, I think that there's an exciting future, and it seems like you guys both feel that way, and that in it for the long haul.
Yes.
Good, emphatic. I mean, and just looking ahead then, I mean, how do you see that going? Elena, you said you've graduated. You've hinted when we've spoken before about maybe coming and spending a bit more concerted time in Japan. It's stuff you're sort of weighing up?
Yeah, I would, as I always said to my parents and my friends around me as well, after I graduated high school back in 2020, I was going to do a gap year. And the purpose was to basically just travel Japan and everything. COVID had other plans, and unfortunately that got interrupted, so studies started again. But now that I've graduated uni and all that, it's definitely something I do want to get back into, to be able to just travel, see what else, culturally there is in Japan, as well as, getting to see my other side of the family a lot more. So it's definitely something that I would love to do. Obviously I have to consider work and all that.
Yes, life.
But apart from that, it's definitely an opportunity that I would like to take on one day.
Cool. Helia?
Me, yeah. So I do have one more year of uni left, but I've always talked to Dad about working after graduating, but he kind of was encouraging me to maybe live in Japan for a year, because he was like, the moment you start work, you're stuck. And he's like, you're young. He's like, so take advantage of that and go live in Japan, explore, why not? So
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
Like, maybe I should actually.
Yeah, cool. And I guess my last question, we've had a couple of other half Japanese girls come over involved, Erica Toguchi Quinn and Aya Kato Stafford. Aya's got a younger brother, older brother, who's very much involved in Japan cricket already. There may be other half Japanese cricketers out there listening to this. Any message for them that you might give?
Come over.
Come over.
Come over.
It's totally worth it.
No, it is worth it. I think you feel more like, wow, there's more people like me, and then you're coming here before I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to really enjoy it, I'm not too sure. But coming here, I've connected more to my Japanese side more, and then I've been able to learn.
I feel like you reignite a flame.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really cringy and horrible. You honestly reignite a flame of loving the game again. Especially if you're having a hard time over a couple seasons and stuff like that. Coming over, seeing how much fun these girls are having while they're playing, learning, really taking it in their stride. It's something that it's worth coming over, seeing how we do it here, taking it back, and just living your life.
So it reminds you of why you started playing the game in the first place, right?
Yeah. And why not try and see what you might enjoy it.
We're here, come see us.
Yeah, well, it's very much it's great that players like yourselves have come through and made it into the national team. That's fantastic. But that's not necessarily our goal as an organisation. We want players to come over and just join the Japan cricket community. It doesn't really matter if you're superstars or if you're just doing it for fun as a way to meet people, because the moment that you come over, and you guys have very much been around the national squads straight away. I don't think you've even played any, other than J-Bash, any club cricket yet, whereas there are obviously women's leagues and stuff going on, so there's still plenty more players that you haven't met yet, and it may be for some players that they just come and play at that level, and that's great anyway, because as soon as you come over, that's what team sport does, right? It gives you that automatic group of friends that you can connect with and spend time with, and it doesn't matter if you're aspiring to the top and professional contracts, or if you're just playing for fun and love of the game. In a great way, as you guys have both said, to connect to Japan again. So, hope you've enjoyed being on. It's been good to chat. Good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
It's a little bit cooler today, but it does look like the weather's going to get up again on Sunday, Monday.
Love that. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks very much, girls. We'll see you again.